Hey everybody, this is the Tramp. Thank you for watching another episode of the Weekend Show. This one is going up a little bit early because I want to look at Final Battle, and if I waited until Saturday morning, it would be too late. So, since we're not doing a review for that, we're doing a preview. We'll just put this up on Friday before the show. A lot of big news this week. Rich Swann got arrested and suspended by WWE, which they only kind of acknowledged on TV, didn't talk about why. He had a domestic violence incident with his wife Su Yung, an indie wrestler. According to witness reports and the police report, sounds like they were driving along after one of her shows. He was critiquing her. She got scared of him. Apparently she says that he has been aggressive in the past. She got out of a moving car to get away from him. So, not a great look there. He gets out, the car is still moving. He says that it was because she had the GPS on her phone, so he needed her phone, and he needed her to come with him. Not a great excuse. Witnesses say that he had her in a headlock, was dragging her back to the car. When you look at the charges say battery and kidnapping. Sounds really bad. Reading the witness reports and police report, it's still pretty bad. This is not a great look for Swann, and this is in a state where the victim doesn't have to press charges. The state can go forward with the charges even without the victim wanting to. So even though it's been reported that Su Yung was the one that bailed Swann out of jail, and she might not want to pursue this, the state can go after him anyway. So he could still be convicted even if they reconcile. So very good chance that could happen. The net neutrality, you guys all know by now, that's gone. I mean, there's still a chance that Congress could step in and stop the repeal of net neutrality. They won't. Wrestlers were largely in favor of net neutrality, but T.J. Perkins seemed to oppose it. Alexa Bliss liked a tweet from Paul Ryan about the repeal, saying it was a good thing. So people are getting down on her now. And perhaps most disappointingly, Flip Gordon just didn't know what it was. Just hadn't bothered to went to Twitter to ask what it was. That's where you want to get your news. Some asshole on Twitter. I tried to be that asshole, so hopefully he knows now. CZW had a show, Cage of Death. It is up on High Spots Network. It's up on CZW Studios too. But I recommend High Spots because of all the other stuff on there. Not a great show, but there were some high spots in there. Not high spots, but good moments in there. The Ethan Page, David Starr match was good. Not great. It could have been better. But it was a good, solid match. Ethan Page said on his podcast afterwards that apparently they had floated the idea of putting David Starr up against Tim Storm for the NWA Championship. Because David Starr is a legitimately good wrestler. Like, people see CZW and they think that everything is hardcore crap. And at Cage of Death, you have a high percentage of it. But they're not all hardcore wrestlers. Some of them are actually good wrestlers. Will Ospreay is going to be at the New Orleans show in April. Some of these guys are legitimately good wrestlers. David Starr is one of them, and him against Tim Storm would have been a really good match. But instead, they brought in Nick Aldis. They brought in Austin Idol with Nick Aldis. Austin Idol, you may not know the name, but he was a Memphis legend once upon a time. And this is how they're bringing him back, as Nick Aldis' manager, basically. And he came out and announced that Aldis had a contractual rematch for some reason, just because. So instead of giving us Tim Storm versus a CZW talent, they gave us Tim Storm versus Nick Aldis in a CZW arena in front of 700, 800 people who had no interest in watching that match. I guess it's good for heel heat for Nick Aldis, maybe. It wasn't the best produced show. They had problems with the mics. It's hard to hear even on the fully produced version. It's hard to hear just what was said, and apparently it was not very easy to hear in the arena at the time. But yeah, just not a great situation. And then after the main event was a Cage of Death match. It had some amazing hardcore spots. Even if you're not a regular hardcore wrestling fan, check it out, because it's just one of those that is just like a really good car crash. You know, some hardcore matches are just, oh, let's beat the crap out of each other because we don't know how to do anything else. This one was people that actually do know how to put together a good match, doing a hardcore match. The spots were crazy, but they meant something. Anyway, after the match, Nick Gage, formerly of CZW, now of Game Changer Wrestling, ran in and cut a promo for a GCW invasion, and then afterwards CZW scrubbed the internet of footage. They put a DMCA claim on any footage, so there's none on YouTube, none on Twitter. I mean, I'm sure some escaped somewhere, but for the most part it's gone. They don't acknowledge it. It's not on the VOD. So they are pretending it didn't happen, and apparently only like one guy actually knew it was a work. Everybody backstage was acting like it was a shoot, even though they gave him a live mic, and that just doesn't happen. And Nick Gage is out on probation and would not risk getting arrested again if it were a shoot incident. So it feels like they just forgot to tell the PR people that it was a shoot, so that or that it was a work rather, so that they could capitalize on it. They're treating it like a shoot, and it's very confusing, and I don't see who it benefits, because the people who were there saw it. Nobody else really saw it. The only people who know about it are the people that follow CZW or GCW on Twitter already. So you're preaching to the choir. You're not really building up that much hype. It's just not a good look for either company. I don't see how it's working out. Cold Brew from Beyond got added to Powerbomb TV. That was the next night, and actually had a couple matches changed because they booked some of the same talent as CZW, and there were injuries. Most notably, MJF got injured at CZW and had to be replaced. But we did get a fantastic main event, Joey Janela versus Keith Lee. Joey Janela had a vertical suplex on Keith Lee. It wasn't a stall suplex, but he still had him completely vertical. It was very impressive. For a man Joey Janela's size to lift up a man Keith Lee's size like that, it's a basic move, but it's impressive. But I would actually suggest waiting. It's the raw footage. It's not the fully produced show. My apologies for that cut and the adjustment. We had a battery issue with the camera. So anyway, Cold Brew, it's not a fully produced show at this point. It is just the raw footage. It's actually not even from the hard cam. It's from the camera on the opposite side. So all the ring introductions, they're facing the wrong way. All the action, they're working to the opposite side. So you can watch their good matches, no commentary. Wait for the fully produced version to go up. You'll definitely like that better than what's up now. It was a good show, but it'll be a lot better show when it's fully produced. WWE introduced the Mixed Match Challenge to start in January. It is a, I believe, 12-week tournament. Mixed tag matches, Raw versus SmackDown, will be airing on Facebook Watch, which Facebook is apparently paying for it so that they get some content on their service. Right now, the only show that I've seen is Bill Murray and Brian Doyle Murray touring minor league baseball stadiums. But the good news is, if you have an internet browser on a video game system, Xbox One, PS4, whatever, Facebook Watch does work on that. So you load up Facebook on your internet browser, and you go and you can watch it full screen. So you will still be able to watch these shows on your TV if you have that kind of setup. A lot of people don't. They aren't video gamers. They don't. They might have like a Fire Stick or something that may not have an internet browser that supports that. But if you are watching your wrestling on a video game system for like WWE Network or High Spots or Powerbomb, you should still be able to use that for Facebook Watch and watch the Mixed Match Challenge on TV. We got 2 big shows this weekend. Like I said, we were putting this video up early so that we can cover Final Battle. It's a decent card. You got Jay Lethal versus Marty Scurll. That will be a good match. Jay Lethal is a good wrestler. Marty Scurll is a damn good wrestler. That should be great. Addiction versus War Machine could go either way. I love both teams, but I'm not familiar with their chemistry with each other. Addiction, their best matches are usually with people closer in size to themselves. I haven't seen them against a lot of Haas teams like War Machine, so I'm curious to see how that is going to turn out. You got Matt Taven versus Will Ospreay. Matt Taven's a solid worker. Will Ospreay's a very good worker. That could go either way as well, depending on their chemistry with each other. You got Street Fight, Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer versus the Briscoes. I have no idea if Bully Ray was supposed to have actually retired or not, but either way, his retirement did not last long, and we're getting the Street Fight. I don't like Jay Briscoe, so I will not like this match no matter what. I am just biased against it from the onset, and I will be open and honest about that. You got the Motor City Machine Guns defending the Tag Team Championship against the Best Friends. That should be fun. Motor City Machine Guns are one of the best tag teams out there. They were excellent in TNA back in the day. They only seem to have lost maybe 1 step out of however many they had to lose, so they're still a damn good team. Best Friends, when they don't get injured, are also very, very good. So this is going to be a good one. I would expect the Machine Guns to retain, just because the Best Friends really don't have a whole lot of time in ROH together. I have no idea what Chuck's deal is with ROH, if he's going to stick around for any length of time. If he doesn't have a long-term contract, if this was really just because of the tag league bookings, then don't expect him to hold on to any kind of championship there. You got Kenny King defending the TV championship in a 4-way match against Punishment Martinez, Shane Taylor, and Silas Young. I would love to see Silas Young with the TV championship, but I think Kenny King still has a little bit of time left on milking his Bachelor appearance, so he will not drop the belt yet. The 6-man tag team championships, the Hung Bucks are going to defend against Dragon Lee, Titan, and Fist Gordon. I don't see the Bucks losing to a team that just kind of mashed together like that. It's going to be a very flippy match with a lot of high spots. It'll be basically a car crash high spot match, which is generally not how I like my high spots. So I'm not really looking forward to this match. It will be interesting to see if they kind of push the Flip Gordon Bullet Club storyline from being the Elite in this match or not, but I'm not expecting much. But in the championship main event, Cody Rhodes versus Dalton Castle. I love Dalton, but they just debuted a new belt for this match. I don't think Cody is dropping the championship just to give the belt to Dalton. He's a great talent. He just signed with a Ring of Honor just like Cody did, but it's clear that between the two, Ring of Honor sees a lot more future in Cody than they do Dalton. Then also this weekend we have Clash of Champions. This is on Sunday. On the kickoff show we've got Mojo Raleigh versus Zack Ryder. They finally, after months of teasing it, finally broke up the Hype Bros with Mojo turning heel. I think he's going to get the bigger push out of this breakup. I just don't see them giving Zack Ryder too much of a push, so Mojo's probably going to win. He's probably going to win decisively. Bri Xango versus the Bludgeoned Brothers. Bludgeoned Brothers have mostly been squashing jobbers. We saw them take on a team with Colin Delaney this week on SmackDown, which was amazing. People that remember Colin Delaney from the WWE incarnation of ECW really loved seeing him again. He actually looks like an adult now. It's amazing what time does. It's been almost 10 years since he was in a WWE ring, so seeing him back was crazy. Hopefully they'll bring him back some more, but he was enhancement talent. He was a local jobber, and they've been feeding the Bludgeons a bunch of squash matches. So Bri Xango will get a couple spots in so that they look good and keep their heat, but they're not going to win. There's no way that they stop this push that they've gotten the Bludgeon Brothers already. If anything, I would expect to see Ascension come in and save Bri Xango from getting injured, and to lead to a Haas versus Haas match, which should be really good, but I don't expect Ascension to win that one either. Baron Corbin is going to defend the United States Championship in a triple threat against Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. I would love for Bobby Roode to win this, but I don't think they're ready to take the belt off of Baron yet. Dolph, I give him crap every now and then. I think he's lost a step. I think he's lost a little bit of his passion, but he's still a solid wrestler. He still bumps very well, but I think Bobby Roode, which is weird considering his age, has more of a future in WWE than either of the other two, but they're not ready to say that that's true of Baron Corbin yet. He's younger. He's got, if he stays healthy, he could have just as long, but he doesn't have the charisma of a Bobby Roode to really stay on top for as long. But yeah, I think Baron Corbin's going to win this, probably pinning Dolph, and Bobby Roode's going to look like he deserves a rematch in a one-on-one match coming out of this. You got Randy Orton and Shinsegae Nakamura versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. If Owens and Zayn lose, they are gone from WWE. Not necessarily forever, they didn't say forever, but they're gone from WWE, not just SmackDown. They won't go to Raw. It's not going to happen. We have two guest referees. We've got both Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. What I expect to have happen is Daniel Bryan gets accidentally provoked. Maybe somebody ducks out of the way and somebody hits him, so Daniel Bryan goes to attack whoever it was that accidentally hit him, and then they move, and he ends up hitting Shane McMahon. So now there is a physical aggression between the two of them, as opposed to just this kind of pent up burning, like, move behind each other's backs kind of stuff we've seen. This is going to add another layer to that, but in the end, Daniel Bryan will have to reluctantly count the 3 count in favor of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. We've got the 4-way championship match for the tag teams. That is Usos versus New Day versus Rusev and Aiden English versus Gable and Benjamin. This could be Gable and Benjamin's chance to win the titles. I'm not sure if this is first fall to a finish or elimination style. First fall to a finish would be a great way to put the belts on either of the newer tag teams. I don't think New Day's getting the belt back, since they just had it. They were the last ones and they settled the feud already. Honestly, if they had more tag teams, they should be in a different match, but they don't, so they're not. But I think that this is the time for the Usos to lose the championship, and I think that Gable and Benjamin have a little bit more to do as a tag team than Rusev and English, especially with the mixed match challenge coming up, and Rusev probably teaming up with Lana for that. I just don't see a whole lot of mileage ahead for that pairing. You got Charlotte defending the Women's Championship against Natalya in a Lumberjack match. This one is just going to end in craziness. That was the only reason to add the Riot Squad to the match as Lumberjacks. It's going to have the entire women's roster out there. Charlotte's going to win, but there's a decent chance that Carmella goes for the cash-in. And I would not actually be surprised if Carmella gets screwed on the cash-in by the Riot Squad to turn her face. But there's only about a 40% chance of that happening. But yeah, it's a possibility. Then we got AJ Styles versus Jinder Mahal for the championship. This is the match that will finally get Jinder out of the main event scene. He's going to probably be a solid mid-carder, probably going for the U.S. championship soon, but I do not expect him to win the title. I don't know what's next for AJ. I would love for it to be a program with Shinsegae Nakamura. I think the timing is right, heading towards Royal Rumble. But as it is, this one is going to go to AJ decisively. And that's all we've got for you today. Thank you for checking out the weekend show. As always, please feel free to join in the conversation. It will not be tonight, Friday, but it will be this weekend. Saturday morning, the thread goes up at the Reddit Country Club for the weekend thread. Talk about whatever you want in wrestling. Is our general discussion thread. Things that you don't think need their own thread. They're not huge topics. They're just little ideas that you have that you kind of want to talk about. Put them there. We love to hear you. We love the comments that you put on this. We love the likes. Thank you. I got a lot of likes when I changed the whole setup last week. I appreciate that. And yes, I know when I say a lot, I'm talking on a relative scale. I know this is a small channel. Don't think that I've got a big head. But think everything is relative and relative to what I'm used to. I'm loving the outpouring. Thank you. As always, I'm the Tramp. Cheers.